Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom Marshall and today we are going to look at a film from the world of John Wick Ballerina. Let's get into it. So the film starts off with Eve staying with her father in her family home and is suddenly attacked. The attackers unfortunately kill her father, does his best to try and defend his daughter, but ultimately is killed. She is then taken to hospital, and this is where we find Winston, and she takes him back to America. And this is where he helps her find her feet once again and takes her to the Roscoroma, which, if you remember from John Wick 3, that was the ballerina school that John Wick sought sanctuary and wanted his ticket out and head to Morocco. And so she gets inducted into the Roscaroma. This is where she is taught the ways of the assassin. And as she grows up, she learns all the necessary skills that she needs to. Not only doing the ballerina stuff, she is taught martial arts, weaponry, tactics, all that sort of stuff, and to prepare her to become an assassin. We see her in her adult life a few years later, and she is on her first mission, which she is successful, and she ends up getting her tattoo, the same tattoo that you see John Wick in the first John Wick film with the big cross, and that's where that comes from. And she is fully inducted into the Roscoroma School of Ballet and the assassination team. So she is on a mission, and then she discovers that while she's on this mission, the mark of the same people that were responsible for killing her parents. After discovering this new piece of evidence to her parents' death, she goes to the Roscoroma for help, and they deny her and deny any involvement, as it is a very dangerous cult who breed and nurture what you would consider assassins from birth, and they are very much outside of the rules and regulations of the John Wick world. So they are sort of like separate from that. And so she also discovers that this is basically the people that were responsible for the death of her parents and ultimately the drastic change in her lifestyle. Now, the film suddenly just becomes a mission of vengeance. She goes on a killing rampage to try and figure out and discover who she is and why they killed her parents. I think this film is very, very good. I highly recommend this film, and I'm so glad that they added from the world of John Wick. This was a very good move by the creators' part. If they just had the title Ballerina and tried to make their own sort of John Wick-esque type film, I don't think it would have really worked very well. The fact that they have from the world of John Wick really sort of makes it like a really good addition, companion piece to the John Wick universe. It definitely has the tone, the style, it has the many sort of themes of grief, loss, anger, frustration, all those types of themes within it as well. It also has a very similar sort of dark color palette from the John Wick films also, which they really sort of nailed very, very well. Also, down to the fighting styles, it's uncanny how similar that they are. I mean, John Wick and Eve come from the same school, and so, you know, they've really kept that continuity very, very well. What I also admired was the fact that Eve wasn't a fully fledged sort of assassin, and she was somebody that was very fresh, very new, and makes mistakes and doesn't do everything perfectly, even in training as well, which was a really good sight to see. And it was very sort of believable as well. She sort of had to work her way up to get to where she is. It doesn't feel like the idea of female empowerment is sort of shoved down your throat in this film, which you've might have seen in a lot of other things recently, especially Last of Us. They have really sort of made that conscious effort to use her abilities as, or even sort of disabilities, disadvantages to her advantage. Even at one point, the coach even says, "Fight like a girl," which I was just like, yes, brilliant. So there's no sort of female girl boss rubbish going on here, which is great. And there's no real sort of like gender politics. It feels like a genuine female heroine that you could really sort of get behind. And this, coming from a male perspective, I know may seem like a little bit odd, but I was cheering at every sort of kill she was making, every move. I mean, there was one really great moment where she converts her pistol with a knife. She attaches it to the bottom of her pistol, and it was so creative. She just thought of it on the fly. She was like, right, okay, strap this knife to the bottom end of a pistol, and she killed about 10 guys with this little contraption thing. There's a really good dark side to the John Wick world, but there's what they do very well here is that they also balance it out with some dark humor as well. There are moments where you just sit there and you're like, should I be laughing at this? This feels really hilarious. You know, there's a scene where she is trying to find a pistol, and amongst all these broken plates, and they're just taking one plate, smashing it over each other's head after another, and it was just quite funny. What I found was that they also drew from other films as well, like for instance, using different objects around her to help her win the fight was very much a Jason Bourne-esque type quality, which I thought was really sort of well done. Really sort of gave you the idea that this character has a lot of tactical awareness around her surroundings, and she knows exactly what she's doing. There's also a scene which is akin to Kill Bill. She wields a samurai sword, and it is excellent. So I think Anna de Armas did a very good job here, and her acting was very good. She showed a lot of like emotion and showed a lot of great physical character traits in there as well. So yes, she was from the school of John Wick, but she also added her own little flair to it as well to give her that individuality as well, which was great. At some points I thought it kind of looked a bit matrixy as well, and it's like I just love the costumes, the different types of styles that each character has in this film. There's a scene where she's walking through the club and she's got like this fur coat on, and it just looks so of the world of John Wick. They've really sort of curated the costumes and design very well. The one thing I would say is, you know, there are some aspects that they could have just shortened down just a little bit. A few fight scenes probably just went on a little bit too long, but I'm just nitpicking here. I have no idea how they make these films. I'm just an avid fan, and I've watched the John Wick films from day one, and I'm a huge fan. So definitely recommend this film. There's a great tete-a-tete between John Wick and Eve as well together, and you know, it's a really great scene between the two of them, and she's more than capable of maybe not beating him, but like if he asked her down the line for help, I'm sure she'll be more than up to the task. Maybe that's something we'll see in like John Wick 5, which has just been recently announced. So definitely go and see this film in the cinema to go and get like the full scope of the John Wickness of it all. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, what your favourite John Wick film is out of all of them. And yeah, hopefully see you in the next video. And they've got lots of films coming out at the minute, so please remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you then.